There is a divine shield around you, an unseen force that protects you from harm. You may not always see it, but deep down, you feel it. The world has thrown battles your way, people who plotted against you, enemies disguised as friends, and obstacles meant to break you. But here you are, still standing, still breathing, still rising. Why? Because God has declared that no one can lay a finger on you. You are untouchable in ways they will never understand. From the moment you stepped into your purpose, the forces of darkness recognized your power. They saw the light in you before you even knew it yourself. That's why you faced so much resistance, why you encountered betrayal, jealousy, and attempts to break your spirit. But every attack failed, every trap backfired, and every storm you walked through only strengthened you. That is not a coincidence. It is divine intervention. Some people thought they could manipulate you, use you, or even destroy you. They whispered behind your back, tried to tarnish your name, and plotted in secret. But God was always a step ahead. Every time they thought they had you cornered, you slipped through their grasp. Every time they assumed you would crumble, you rose even stronger. That's because God has placed a divine mark on you, one that tells the enemy, "This one is mine." You might wonder why certain people suddenly disappeared from your life, or why relationships you once cherished fell apart. That was God's way of removing those who meant you harm. Some people were smiling in your face while secretly hoping for your downfall. They watched you struggle and secretly celebrated, thinking they had won. But little did they know, their time was running out. When God declares protection over you, no weapon formed against you can prosper. Not only that, those who try to harm you will be the ones who suffer. The people who tried to curse you will find their own lives filled with chaos. The ones who schemed against you will be exposed. God is not just your protector, He is your avenger. He saw what they did in the dark. He heard the conversations they thought no one else did. And now, He is stepping in. There is a shift happening in your life right now. You might feel it in your spirit, a sense that something powerful is unfolding, that those who came against you are now facing consequences. You are stepping into a season where your enemies will watch in frustration as you rise. They will see the favor upon your life and realize they were never meant to destroy you. They were only a tool in God's hands to make you stronger. God is not a passive observer in your life. He is an active protector. He is watching over you, shielding you from unseen dangers, and ensuring that no harm comes your way. Some of your enemies may have had plans, but their plans have been dismantled. Some people may have thought they could control your destiny, but God has shown them otherwise. The devil himself has tried to stop you, but he has failed every single time. He thought the setbacks would make you give up. He thought the betrayals would break your spirit. He thought the pain would turn you away from your purpose. But instead, you grew stronger. You became wiser. You learned who was truly for you and who was against you. And now, you stand with a power that is unshakable. This is your confirmation that you are not alone. That feeling in your heart, that deep knowing that something is shifting, is real. God is positioning you in a place where no one can touch you. They may try, but their efforts will be in vain. They may send attacks, but those attacks will be blocked. The ones who thought they could harm you will find themselves facing the consequences of their own actions. So do not be afraid. Walk boldly in your calling. Hold your head high, knowing that you are divinely protected. Let them talk, let them scheme, let them plot. It will not work. Because when God says they cannot lay a finger on you, He means it, and His word never fails. Do you ever wonder why certain people have tried to harm you but failed? Why they set traps for you, but you always found a way out? Why they spoke against you, but their words never had the power to destroy you? It's because God has placed His divine protection over you. They cannot lay a finger on you. They may have the desire, the plan, and even the opportunity, but their actions will never succeed because God has already declared your victory. Your enemies have been confused for a long time. They cannot understand why their attempts to bring you down keep backfiring. Some of them have used lies, deception, and manipulation, thinking they could control your destiny. Others have worked behind the scenes, hoping you would fail, but every single time, their plans fell apart. And do you know why? Because the hands of God have been covering you. He has built an impenetrable wall around your life. The enemy may have tried to come close, but they could not break through. Some people hate you for no reason, but the truth is, their hatred is spiritual. They don't even understand why they despise you so much. It is because your very existence reminds them of the light within you. When you walk into a room, you carry a presence that disturbs the spirits of those who operate in darkness. Without even saying a word, your presence exposes their true nature. That is why they want to harm you, but they can't. That is why they wish for your downfall, but instead, you keep rising. There have been moments in your life when you felt surrounded, like everything was closing in on you. Maybe you had people gossiping about you, betraying you, or trying to take what was yours. Maybe you had situations where it felt like you were under attack from every side. But somehow, every single time, you made it through. Even when you thought you had no way out, something happened that changed the situation. That wasn't luck. That wasn't coincidence. That was divine protection. God has sent His angels to walk before you. There are battles that were meant to destroy you, but you never even saw them because God fought them before they could reach you. There were people who plotted against you, but their plans crumbled before they could be executed. There were moments when the enemy thought he had won, but at the last moment, God turned everything around. And here's something you must understand. When God places His protection over you, He does not just protect your body. He protects your mind, your heart, your purpose, your destiny. That is why some of you have walked through storms that should have left you broken, but instead, you came out stronger. That is why certain relationships and friendships ended when they did, because God saw the danger before you did. He removed the people who would have harmed you before they could even take action. Some of you have been wondering why people who once loved you have suddenly turned cold. Why people you trusted have walked away without explanation. Let me tell you something. When people cannot touch you physically, they will try to attack you emotionally. When they realize they cannot destroy you, they will try to distract you. But God is not just protecting you from physical harm. He is protecting you from emotional, mental, and spiritual harm as well. Have you noticed how some people have tried to return to your life after walking away? They thought they could live without you, but now they are struggling. They thought they could do better without you, but now they are realizing the mistake they made. That is not because of you. It is because God is showing them that His chosen ones are not to be played with. He is showing them that your presence was a blessing, and your absence is their punishment. Your enemies are in distress right now. They are watching you from a distance, seeing how you continue to grow despite everything they did to stop you. They cannot touch you, so they are left frustrated, wondering why nothing they do seems to work. They are realizing that you are protected in ways they never imagined. This is your season of revelation. God is showing you who was truly for you and who was against you. He is exposing the hearts of those who pretended to love you, but secretly envied you. And He is reminding you that no matter what they do, they cannot lay a finger on you. So walk with confidence. Hold your head high, knowing that you are covered by a power greater than anything this world has ever seen. The people who doubted you, betrayed you, and tried to harm you will have no choice but to watch as you rise. They cannot touch you, they cannot stop you, and they will never understand why. There comes a time when those who sought to harm you will realize they never had any real power over you. The very people who plotted against you, who whispered lies behind your back, and who tried to block your progress are now left in confusion. They thought they could control your destiny. They believed their tricks, their schemes, and their manipulations would be enough to stop you. But they were wrong. Because God had already declared, they cannot lay a finger on you. You see, the enemy operates through fear and intimidation. He wants you to believe that your obstacles are bigger than your faith. He wants you to doubt your protection, to question your calling. But let this be a reminder. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. They might form the weapon, they might launch the attack, but it will never hit you the way they intended. What was meant to break you will only make you stronger. Have you ever wondered why certain attacks didn't work? Why things that should have destroyed you only elevated you? It's because God has placed a spiritual shield around you. Even when you were unaware, even when you were weak, His divine presence covered you. The enemy had plans, but God had greater plans. Every time the enemy tried to strike, he found himself hitting nothing but air. This is why your enemies are in frustration right now. They set their traps, but you never fell into them. They spoke curses over your life, but you kept receiving blessings. They tried to shut doors in your face, but God opened even bigger ones. And now they are left powerless. Their own actions have turned against them. Some of them are starting to regret ever coming against you. They are realizing that you were not just an ordinary person, they were dealing with a chosen one. When they first attacked, they thought you were defenseless. They assumed you had no protection, no covering. But now they see that you were never alone. You had divine forces standing behind you the entire time. And now they are beginning to experience the consequences of their actions. Some are facing unexpected struggles, setbacks, and misfortunes. Not because you wished harm upon them, but because they tried to harm someone who was protected by God. They are learning the hard way that when they mess with a chosen one, they are not just fighting against you, they are fighting against God Himself. God is reminding you today that you are untouchable. They may try, but they will fail. They may gather, but they will scatter. Their energy is being wasted. Their efforts are in vain. Because when God has spoken, no one can overturn His word. This is why you must walk boldly in your purpose. You don't need to fear what they say or what they do. You don't need to concern yourself with their gossip, their jealousy, or their envy. Let them watch from the sidelines while you continue to rise. Let them witness your success, knowing they had no part in it. Let them see that no matter how hard they tried, they never had the power to stop what God has already ordained. Your enemies are watching you now with confusion. They are waiting for you to break, to fall, to stumble. But you won't, because God has strengthened you in ways they will never understand. He has poured His favor upon you, and no human force can undo what He has set in motion. Some of them will try to return. They will act as if nothing happened. They will pretend they never plotted against you. Do not be deceived. God has already exposed them for who they are. Some of them will come with apologies, not because they are truly sorry, but because they are suffering without you. But remember this, not everyone deserves access to you. Forgive them, but do not let them back in. Chosen one, your silence is powerful. Your presence is powerful. Your mere existence shakes the forces of darkness. And that is why the enemy is afraid of you. That is why people have tried to come against you, but they cannot lay a finger on you. They cannot stop you. They cannot break you. So continue forward. Keep walking in your purpose. Keep standing in your faith. The world will soon see what God has always known. You are unstoppable, you are chosen, and you are protected.